Good morning. Welcome to Robyn's Roost. Today I'm going to talk about a technique called kissing. Now, it's actually exactly what it sounds like. What you're going to do is you're going to put two stamps together and kiss them, and then you're going to stamp on your paper. Now, I haven't done this technique for a long time, and actually, I don't think I ever designed my own card using this technique. And I'm doing it for a challenge that my demonstrator group has going right now. When I started working on it, I was ready to tear my hair out because I could not find something that I liked. Now, some of the other ladies in the group said that they were having trouble with the photopolymer stamps being making a nice image doing the kissing technique. And I can't say I really noticed that too terribly, but I was mostly working with a mix of stamps. And I thought I would show you some of what I experimented with. I still haven't put together a card, so you're not actually going to see a card today. You're just going to see some ideas that I came up with. So I started with the watercolor shapes stamp set, and I combined it with the Butterfly Brilliance, which is actually like a big background stamp. So what I did, I'm just going to pull in some scrap paper here. Okay, is I took the photopolymer set and I stamped it up, or inked it up I should say. Inked it up. And then I did the butterflies in a nice bright color. And we'll just use this edge for this time. And then I went like this, and we just kind of squish it straight down. You don't want to wiggle because you don't want it smeary. And then you can see the ink on the stamp. And you're going to get an image like that. Now that is putting ink on both sides, right? So one thing you want to have handy when you're experimenting or stamping with this is a stamp cleaner. And this is a chamois, much loved. You can see it actually starts out being like this color you can see in the corner, kind of a light purple. And as you use it, it gets full of ink. You can rinse it out, but the ink stains never quite go away. So now another way of doing this, and I'm going to take a different color here. Let's try this. This is a dark Mango Melody. So I'm going to, I better clean this stamp too before I start. And the big stamps are a little bit harder to clean. A lot of times I will actually just rinse them off in the sink, just because they're so big. Okay, now we're going to leave this one uninked, and we are going to ink the background stamp here, the watercolor shapes. And then we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to kiss the two stamps together. And now this is actually going to take ink off of the square block. I'm not sure if you can see it. I can kind of see it, but in the light. And then if we stamp this down, now as you stamp, you can really see the butterflies, or at least I can. It might not show on the camera as much. And then when you pick it up, you're going to have this this light, subtle butterfly look. So it works great for backgrounds and subtle cards. Now you can see if you only use ink on the one stamp, it's going to be way more subtle than if you ink them both. Now I wanted to experiment a little bit with another stamp, just just because I want to, right? And I wanted to show you, oops, now I'm making a mess. I'm going to close my ink pads because open ink pads are like a disaster waiting to happen. So let us get some red ink because this is like a Christmas one. So I have got, let me just show you which stamp sets I'm playing with now. This is the Candy Canes, which is another background stamp, and the Penguin Place. So I've got red rubber and photopolymer, and I'm just using the balloon. Now I wanted to show you, let me see if I can, and I think this is probably where some people were saying that the photopolymer didn't work as well. So I'm just going to ink up a little corner of this. So I'm inking this stamp. This one is uninked, placing it on here. Ooh. And it's going to give us the shape of the balloon with just the ink from the candy canes. Now it doesn't look like much, right? So you're probably not going to use that. So now I'm going to just ink up my balloon and stamp that, right? So that's what our balloon looks like. Now if I ink up my balloon and put it on the uninked part of the candy cane stamp, it's going to give me that. So not real impressive, right? But now if I ink up the balloon again, and I'm just gonna, I got a scrap paper up here, I'm gonna stamp off, right? So I've stamped off. So this is just a light layer now of the ink on here. Then I'm gonna stamp it onto my uninked candy canes. Now I like that look better. So that gives us the red background of the balloon and some real light shadowy candy canes. Now let's try ink it off or stamp it off, and then let's give this a little bit more ink here. Okay, so now I have both stamps inked, but the one has been stamped off, right? Ooh, I like that one. So you can see that you can kind of play around with how much ink you put on which stamp, and it gives you all these different looks just by inking the same two stamps up differently. So now I have one more set that I wanted to show you. The photopolymer not working as well, which they're different. I can see that. I wanted to take out two red rubber stamps and work with. And the key to this is that one of your stamps has to be like solid. You know what I mean? Like a solid spot to ink, and so that you can see your kissing on it. And I absolutely could not find a red rubber stamp that I had that was a small one that was solid. So I pulled out an old set because I love my old sets too. And this is a kind of a fall one, Nuts About You. I'm not sure what year it's from because I don't have this one marked, but and then I have the Natural Textures, which is, to me, it was like a, wow, this is a great set for kissing because it has all these awesome textures, right? So if we do this technique with these two stamps, I'm just going to start inking it up with some cinnamon cider, and I'm going to stamp the tree just like you normally would, right? Oh, I didn't have them ink real well, but there you can see it's just the tree, right? Now I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to kiss the this kind of crinkly looking stamp across it, right? No ink on this one. So that gives our tree like a little barky look, right? Hope you can see this in the video. Now I want to clean my stamps And somehow I've lost my chamois. Excuse the reach. I think I put it over here out of the way. Okay, so let's clean them both. Now, just for the heck of it, let's ink the tree up in a lighter color. So we've got some bumblebee here, and then we'll ink the textured one up in the cinnamon, and then we'll go ahead and push them together. So now we have both stamps inked with different colors, right? So now you can see it's probably got a little bit more variation with the two colors, right? Now, with this particular stamp, I thought, what would it look like? We'll just clean them off again. And I'm going to shut the bumblebee so I don't fall into it, right? And I think I need another piece of paper here. And you can see that experimentation takes a lot of paper, right? Good thing I have lots of scraps. So then I thought, what if I inked up the tree, stamp this one on here, and this one has no ink on it, right? Now I have to clean it off quick. Then I'm going to stamp it again, uninked, the other direction, right? Now look at the cool look you get with that. So there's lots of different things that you can come up with to create texture on your images using two stamps like this. So that was just kind of what I wanted to show you today, is some different ways that you can use this technique with the stamps that you have to create some fun cards. So check back on my blog after I've done all this stamping. I will be posting some cards eventually here on my blog so that you can see what I've made with the stamps that I've used here. So you guys have a great Saturday afternoon and day. Looks like it's going to be gorgeous out here in Minnesota, and I plan on going out and taking our fish in today. The poor little things are getting a little cold in the morning when they're swimming outside, so they're going to go in their winter home. So you guys all have a great day, and I will talk to you again later.